Hey guys, Tepcocyclerepair. Today working on a Honda Foreman ES. This I believe is a 2002 or 2000. This is a 450. The problem we're having here is the customer says that the fuel is leaking out of the carburetor, and even with the fuel off, it constantly leaks and drips. So we have more than one problem here. We have a carburetor that's not sealing, and we got a fuel petcock that's not sealing as well. So what we're going to do here, I've already looked inside this carburetor. I took it off prior to the video to see what was going on inside there. It is corroded. The needle is corroded inside there, and the seat's corroded. So this carburetor is shot. So we're going to replace the carburetor, and we're going to replace the fuel petcock in here. So we're going to go ahead and start taking things apart. It's pretty easy to get this carburetor off. You have a couple of screws here. I get the tank off as well. So we're going to take those off, take the side panel off, get the seat out of the way. All right, and then to get the carburetor off, it's pretty easy. We're going to pull these pins off here and here, these little push-ins for the airbox. We're going to go ahead and take the carburetor off, Phillips head there, Phillips head there. This piece is going to come off with the airbox. It makes it a lot easier. This just pops in over here. There's a kind of a bracket, it's hard to see, built into the plastic tube intake, and it clips onto a frame rail. So you just pop that off, pull this whole airbox intake out, and then we'll be able to get to the carburetor. Take the choke off here, just unscrew it. It's plastic, be very careful there. Unscrew it a little bit and then do it by hand. Pull your choke out, rotate the carburetor, and we're going to take the throttle linkage off, and we'll show you that. Okay, so here's the fuel petcock problem. No matter where I turn this thing, it just won't stop dripping. That's a problem, and you don't want this to constantly drip. I'm in the off position right now, and it just nowhere. I can't put it anywhere where it stops dripping. So we got to replace the fuel petcock on the tank. All right, so getting the throttle cable off, I just have the carburetor laid up on the side. We have one Phillips head right here. All right, and then the cable right here is real simple. You just have to pull it. Try to do it with one hand right here. All right, see how the cable lines up there with the groove, and just work it out. And then we got to loosen these nuts right here. Just lock the nut just a hair, and then we're going to spin this all the way out. And then with this nut cracked loose right here, we're just going to spin this out. See how the adjustment pretty much stays the same. So you don't have to worry about that. And as soon as you get this all the way out, I'm just going to pull it through this little groove right there. And then the carburetor is disconnected. Alright, so first off, when you get this carburetor from Caltrek, this is how it comes. If you just take it and just do a basic quick look, the most obvious thing that I can see is different is going to be the fuel line. We have one fuel line on the Caltrek coming straight out this way, and the fuel line, it's on the factory one coming forward. So I'm going to have to get an additional line for that because I don't think the stock line is going to be long enough. That's the first thing. The second thing I noticed right out of the gate is that the Caltrek has a couple extra vent lines. So if we flip it over here, you can see there's no vent line here on the OEM, but we have a vent line here on the Caltrek. We flip it over. This looks the same here. Our choke inlet or enricher right here is the same. They got a cap on the mixture screw. A little different casting, basically the same. Some people were complaining that the plug is different, but looking at the plug for the, and this is for the heater, this helps with cold start. This looks the same to me. So looking at these two plugs, they're the same, so maybe they heard that and they changed it up. Those plugs look the same. Shouldn't have a problem there. This is the this is also a plunger that helps the bike start if you got to push some fuel up. So basically it looks pretty much the same with a couple small changes that I don't think are going to make a big difference. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull the bowl off of this Caltrek and the bowl off of the OEM. We're going to take a look inside and see what it looks like, and then from there we'll see if there's any differences. So let me get these bowls off. Alright guys, so here's inside the bowls of the two of them. Now before we go any further, I got to explain myself. You know how I always say I don't like these aftermarket carburetors and to always clean your OEM one. Let me explain why we're taking this route. So on this one right here, this is the Honda OEM carburetor. The drain screw on this one, the owner of it damaged it. So we can't replace just the screw, and I can't, you can replace just the bowl. That's how you have to buy it from Honda, but it's no longer available. So this bowl right here, in order to fix that screw, this bowl is not available. So you'd have to buy a whole nother carburetor. So we opted to try one of these. So let's look at the first thing. Will the aftermarket bowl fit on the OEM carburetor if that's the route that you want to take? All right, so let's see if this fits. All right, so this aftermarket bowl does fit on the OEM carburetor. That's good, because if that's all you need, all right, you can just buy this carburetor, which is only like $30, take the bowl off, and you're good to go. That's really good right there. And I've done that a lot of times. I buy the aftermarket carburetor just to strip it for parts, because the parts are so close, and everything else in there looks the same. If we compare the bowls themselves, okay, we're good there. That one, so we know that this one will work. That's really good information. Okay, so if you have one with a problem with the bowl, OEM, the bowl is no longer available, you can go ahead and buy this aftermarket carburetor from Caltrek, and you can use this bowl. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not sponsored. This is not a sponsored video or anything. I purchased this, and I'm just trying it out for you guys. I don't have any affiliation with Caltrek at all. All right, so looking in here, we have a couple different things. The rubber plug right here. All right, so there's a jet on the side. This just has a ball, has nothing there. Just as far as the jets go, I don't know what size they are, and I doubt they're printed on them. I haven't seen any of them come printed, but let's take a look, see if they're on there. So this one here. Yeah, so they don't have any printing, no idea what size they are. I want to put this carburetor in without changing any of that. We're going to leave it because some people say they put it in there. No problem. It doesn't have a splash guard on it, so that's something else I noticed. Here's a splash guard. This helps fuel from sloshing around, and it keeps it in the jets. Let's see if that swaps over, and it does. Let's see, mostly. See on this one here how it sits there, and then when I bring it over here to the same, put it in the same spot, it's about the same. It's just floppier. It's like the center. Yeah, like this holds it good. That center post right there that it's sliding onto, this one is smaller, so it moves around a little more. As far as the float goes, this one, floats are very similar. Needle looks good. All right, not too much stuff different there. The main thing I want to see is the bowl fit. The mixture screw looks good. We'll see where that's set at before I put it in. But let's see if it mounts right up and we're able to start it. These vent lines, you got to pay attention because it has the extra vent line. We're going to have to reroute that. So let's get this bowl back on this one and go throw it on the four-wheeler and see if it works. All right, so for the fuel valve here, we have a Phillips head to take the knob off, and then simple 2 8mm. Have the brand new one right here, slides in, new O-ring. It'll have no problems. You just pull that out. All right, there we go, new one in, all set. Now the original OEM one is non-rebuildable. This one looks like it is. I don't know if you can get rebuild parts for it though, because it is aftermarket. All right guys, so you can see the plungers are different from the factory one to the aftermarket, but the factory one fits inside the aftermarket, and the length and everything looks the same, and the ends look like they'll work just fine. So you can use, I already slid this one into the aftermarket carburetor, and it seems like it slides in fine, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to keep using the factory enricher. Should be fine. All right, so that line 90 degrees, no problem. Fits right in there, easy. Everything is mounted up except for the airbox now. So we're going to turn it on. There it is idling. Pretty damn good. Let me get the airbox on. We'll see how it goes. Well guys, I gotta say, I'm impressed with this one. It's running really good. This is the first aftermarket carb on a full-size machine that I've thrown in, and it works great. Well guys, that's it. That's that Caltrek carburetor. I'll put a link in the description to where you can get one, and it worked out really good. It was pretty straightforward. I didn't really have to change anything. That's the stock choke plunger and everything in there for the choke enricher. All the same stuff. I didn't have to change that at all. They had some extra vent lines. I just rerouted them up underneath the tank and then back down so they couldn't get any water in them. Carb is running great. You just heard it. Runs good. I'm impressed. So, guys, hopefully this helps you out. Get your Hondas back running again. Those Foremans, older Hondas, those carburetors seem to work. So please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell for further notifications. Guys, until next time, Tepcocyclerepair.